Hi guys, this is Quad. Today I want to make a little video on the budget Summon Necro that I'm running right now in the D2R, and it's level 90 already. So I decided to make this as a milestone before I make the build video. Also, by then you probably acquire some basic gear so you could follow along. But I have to say I leveled with this build and didn't have any problems, only maybe with bosses, but generally I could start farming from early on. Alright, first let's look at the skills, then gear, and then also Mercenary, and I will also show you a couple of example runs in the areas that I was farming so far, so that you get an understanding how this works. Alright, let's start with skills. They are probably the most simple. Let's do with summoning first. So obviously a summoner is based on a skeleton mastery and skeletons, so both of them have base 20 points. I max them out. Then a skeleton mage 1 and 1 point into revive, just to have them occasionally. But for this build without Enigma they are not so useful because they tend to disappear really quick if you just run and not teleport. Then I put 1 point into Glade Golem. Well, I actually put 2, but it was a misclick. 1 point into Blood Golem and 1 point into Iron Golem. So by now I already should have Iron Golem made of Insight runewords so that I can give something else to my Mercenary. But he was just killed recently and I didn't have another polyarm to remake him. And to help your golems survive, I put 10 points into Golem Mastery so they have more life, because it's quite important that your Iron Golem lives. And again, 1 point into Summon Resist. I think again 2 points misclick, so things happen, right? Then let's go to the Poison and Bone skills. Here the most important is a Corpse Explosion. I maxed it out for having the highest radius possible. Especially early game it is really tough without high radius. The more radius it is, the more monsters you kill at once and affect with the explosions, so I would highly recommend going 20 points here. Also 1 point into Bone Armor and 10 points into Bone Wall. Pretty much this is what I boost right now. I put points into Bone Wall because it provides as a synergy 15 damage absorbed per level, and Bone Armor only grants 10 damage absorbed per level, so it is more efficient to put points into Bone Wall. In the curses, basically 1 point into Weaken, 1 point into Terror, and 1 point into Decrepify. I use Decrepify to calm down some crazy packs or for bosses that are hitting too hard. Then I used Iron Maiden in the beginning, basically through the normal playthrough to deal with bosses at the early stages, and 1 point into Dim Vision and Confuse just for some crowd control. And of course 5 points into Amplify damage, so I just wanted to hit the radius at least some comfortable level where I don't need to cast it too many times to cover everything on the screen. Again, the less you need to cast Amplify damage, the faster you get the clear speed. Alright, this is the skills. Let's have a look quickly at the stats. So I have 156 base strength to wear the Spirit Monarch. I have 25 base value of dexterity and the rest of the points into vitality. My resistances are pretty good. I will show you how I got those. And additionally, at the moment I have, most importantly, almost 400 extra gold and 376 MF. I am currently wearing the most MF gear I have, so that's why it is so high. On top I have 33 run speed, which is good, while I don't have Enigma to teleport. 60 FHR, which is great as I just reach 7 frame breakpoint with 1 extra small charm that grants 5% and the Spirit Monarch. And 88 faster cast rate, which is well over 75% that I need for getting the almost last breakpoint. The last one is 125, and in my opinion for this build without teleporting it's not so important to get. Also, of course, I have Cannot Be Frozen thanks to Raven Frost, but let's look at this right now. Alright, gear. Once again, I will show you some options and different setups. So this is my most MF possible setup at the moment. I have Chance Guards, 35%. Then I have Red and Frost for Cannot Be Frozen, and Dexterity to wear the Heart of the Oak runeword, because yeah, the flails require some dexterity. I may, when I respect, I will probably put some base dex points so that I don't need to do that, but generally, yeah. Before Heart of the Oak, I was using Spirit, Crystal Sword, and it's absolutely fine. It's just that Hoto is a bit superior to Spirit. Then probably the best piece of the gear that I have at the moment is this tiara that is 220 with 21 life and poison resist. Generally this is considered best in slot. Maybe you can find better stats, but you really need 220 tiara to reach 125% breakpoint with Death Web later on. So I'm pretty happy with this find early on. The body armor is Scalder's Ire. Again, lots of magic find and +1 to all skills, that's really cool. Magic Ami with 44% MF, again for a maximum MF setup. Then I have the Spirit Monarch, so for now this is my go-to shield. Maybe for different setups and for different builds I could use some like Homunculus or maybe something else, but for now it's the most useful what I have. I have these rare boots, they provide me good fire res, faster run walk and 23 MF. The other ring is 30% Nagel, and the belt is a gold wrap again for more MF. I have 40% Git's Fortune, a lucky find of the Hephasto on a hell difficulty, one Grand Charm with lots of lightning res. The rest are resistances with MF or just MF, so this is the best charm I have so far, I guess. Yeah, so assorted different small charms with useful stats, or just MF. Okay, on the swap, I have the TP staff, which I could use interchangeably with the Harmony runeword, so that I run faster. The TP staff is good for shorter distance farming, and the Harmony is good for longer distance farming, and also where you don't have narrow passages, like the pit, for example. Then, as I mentioned, I have different setups, so when I need to cover completely all resistances, I may use Wizard Spike. Also for a large amount of faster cast rate, this is very useful. And for almost maximum magic find, I would use Blade of Ali Baba. Then, if I want more skills, I would, for example, use this Ami with 3 to poison and bone skills to max the radius of the corpse explosion, or maybe to make my summons stronger, for example for Chaos Sanctuary, so that they don't die there quickly, I would use this one. Or maybe something in between like this, with MF and poison and bone skills. Then I have FCR rings, just in case I want to hit 125, and all resistances rings, so again for example I use them in the Trilingual, because otherwise I get too much damage in the middle of all. More MF options here, Nagel Ring, another useful Magic Ring, and Dwarf Star for Fire Absorb. If I definitely need more resistances, then I would use either of these Amis, or maybe one of these rings to boost some single res. So in my opinion, it's always good to have those in a backup, just when you hit something different, then you may want to increase some of your resistances. And the rest is, yeah, some random stuff. As for the gear, I also have this Trunks armor for now for increasing faster run walk. Again, if I farm Pete, for example, I might use it over Scalders just to get there faster, to be more efficient. And for higher cast rate, I could use also Trunks gloves. I have Alder's boots for faster run walk, life and fire res, again something that I could potentially use in the Trilingual, and G-Face for my Merc to deal more damage. Trangul's belt for Cannot Be Frozen, and for example Thunder Gods I would use for Uber Mephisto. Then Taurash's belt I could use for Dexterity and MF if I don't want to wear Ravenfrost. Verdango for damage reduction, vitality, and just good rare belt for resistances, life and strength. So this would be my currently options to swap out for different things that I need, either like more damage or strength of my summons, or maybe, yeah, as you've seen, more MF, or perhaps more resistances to be absolutely bulletproof with this. From here, my Mercenary actually has Treachery, of course, for increased attack speed, FHR, Cold Res, but most importantly for the Fate proc, so 5% chance to cast level 15 Fate, provides him a lot of resistances and also physical damage reduction. Then of course he has Insight and a Thresher. I don't have any ethereal one yet, so he uses this one. And as a mask, as a source of some life leech, this Taos mask with 15 resistances and extra life. Alright guys, let's do the showcase of the farming options with the Summon Necro. So the first one would be the Eldritch and Shank, of course. You can see that everything dies pretty much super easily. Just one corpse and then everything explodes. Shank could be a little bit difficult because of the spear throwers, but as soon as you get one corpse, everything is dead. But definitely be careful here in this area. It's not too easy. And here I will show you a nice quick trick to get your skellies up and running. So actually you can revive all these corpses in the Pindle temple, so on the entrance to Nilithak. And in addition, you can then, yeah, of course, unbinding teleport is really nice. But in addition, of course, you can farm Pindle as well. So definitely add it to your route. Alright, then also with the pit, it's pretty much the same. You get your army of skellies. Here you can have your maximum skellies, it's not a problem at all, because the area is quite wide and there is enough space for everybody. So yeah, just find the elite packs and amplify them and then explode everything upon the first corpse. Here in the pit I usually like to have Harmony rune word more for the faster run walk, because the distances to run are a bit higher, so it's better to relocate faster instead of just having a TP stuff. And as I mentioned, here are no really narrow passages. Maybe stairs sometimes could be a pain, but normally your summons and Mercenary will find their way around, so they could hit mobs really quick. And again, monsters here are not too strong, just be careful of the archers, otherwise I think you can even TP or run around the mobs without any issue. Of course be careful with Might and Fanaticism auras, but that's the typical stuff. Or if you have, let's say, like Nudge Puzzler, you can even TP through the areas completely. You don't need so much chargers to get there, to level 2 for example here. Alright, similar story with Ancient Tunnels. I think you can run them pretty easily, mobs don't have so much life here, but what I would suggest you is to actually have only about like 5 or 6 skellies, because here you, unlike in the pit, you have narrow passages and sometimes you just don't have enough space for your Mercenary to get to the targets and to basically kill them fast, and your skellies won't do as much damage as for example the Mercenary. So that's a good idea also to have here the teleport stuff, because provides you mobility required for those narrow places to get all your army in one spot for this. So keep this in mind. And again, yeah, just as usually run around, Ancient Thanos maps can be a little bit tedious, but if you're on single player, definitely roll a good one. If you are online, well, it might be a little bit tough to farm without Enigma.